Court is in session in cause number 329-118. The case is styled the State of Texas versus Willie Lee Parker. Mr. Parker is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Parker, is that your full name, Willie Lee Parker?
Sir, it is, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Parker, will you please raise your right hand? Mr. Parker, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
Yes, sir, I swear.
Okay, Mr. Parker, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Parker?
I'm doing fine, Judge.
That's good. Mr. Parker, I have before me an information in cause number 329-118 that alleges that on or about January 5th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of failure to identify fugitive from justice. Mr. Parker, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Parker, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty,
Guilty.
or no contest?
No contest.
No contest.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Contest the fight.
Okay, so you do not wish to fight or contest the charges.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Parker, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. It's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Now, on page 1 of this document, it has a box that's checked Class B misdemeanor. Mr. Burbank, do I have your permission to make that correction? This is a Class A misdemeanor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Parker, I have your permission to make that correction as well?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, Mr. Parker, this offense is a Class A misdemeanor. The range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor is confinement in jail for a term not to exceed 1 year, fine not to exceed $4,000 or both such fine and confinement. Do you understand the range of punishment for a Class A misdemeanor?
Yes, sir, Judge.
All right. Now, on page 2 of the same document, there are two sets of initials, TB and WP. TB is your attorney's initials. Did you place your initials WP on the line next to the box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest?
Yes, sir, I did, Judge.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, there's a line, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir, Judge.
There are two boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Parker, did you sign a document out there on paper that is titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, sir, I did.
Now, Mr. Parker, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I have just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir, Judge.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1 and State's Exhibit Number 2, the probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objections to States 1 or 2, Judge.
No objection. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Burbank, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Parker, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Parker, your attorney, Mr. Burbank has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir, Judge.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Parker, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
30 days county jail.
Okay, Mr. Parker, the state is offering that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for any time that you are entitled to get by law. The court cost in this case is $332. Mr. Parker, will you be able to pay the court cost of $382?
No, sir.
Now, Mr. Okay, now, Mr. Parker, I have before me a document. Uh-oh, this document, okay. You refused that, well. Okay, on this here document, the affidavit you have refused. Now, Mr. Parker, I need to get some information from you. Now, Mr. Parker,
Yes, sir.
are you employed?
No, sir, I'm currently unemployed.
All right. Do you currently receive any benefits such as Medicaid,
No, sir.
SSI, SNAP, TANF, or do you live in public housing?
No, sir, none of the above.
Okay. Now, Mr. Parker, do you have any form of income?
No, sir.
All right. And Mr. Parker, do you have any assets such as a home or a car?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, what about your expenses? Do you live with family members?
Yes, sir, I live with my father.
All right. Are you required to pay any rent,
No, sir.
utility bills?
No, sir.
You have any children?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Are you required to pay any expenses such as child support?
No, sir.
And now, how's your food provided for? Do you, your father provide that for you?
Yes, sir.
And transportation, do you have to pay for transportation?
My father does.
Okay, and so Mr. Parker, the court is going to find that you are indigent. And based on the finding of indigency, the court is going to waive the court costs pursuant to Article 42.15 of Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. And that just simply means you will not have to pay the court costs because the court has found that you are indigent. Now, Mr. Parker, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir, I do, Judge.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Parker, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Parker, this will conclude your case. You can knock on the door, follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Burbank, this will conclude your cases that you have. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge.